tell you, he runs a project called, he's a senior man of a project called MOTORVATION in Romford, a long-standing project which has, I think, come to fruition largely through Chris's contribution, which he's now going to tell us about.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to go. Would you like me to wait? I haven't started yet, please. Again, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, thank you for inviting me today to this wonderful meal. I've really enjoyed it. And I understand you've had a very difficult time in arranging this venue quite late. And I think it's been really good. So, for these people, I think it's fantastic. Thanks, Ron. It seems a long time ago when we first met and started speaking.
Yeah, I'm Jim.
Jim, sorry, Jim. It seems a long time ago, Jim, when we first spoke. Right. You came along, I think, the same day to the project. I showed you around and had a look, and then you asked me if I'd come, which is how I've ended up here today. I'm going to give you time. I know is against everyone today a little bit. I'm going to give you a brief outline where MOTORVATION started from, where I came into it, and indeed the journey that we've taken over the last 16 years with the programme. So from the start there was a very small charity called the Havering Venture, which was a police charity based in Havering. Some of you may have heard of it. And the venture really was a summer programme project for disadvantaged young people. And one of the founder members of the venture, he had this idea that it would be good to start a motor vehicle project to work with disaffected, disadvantaged young people. Possibly those people, young people on the edge of crime, and almost like a reparation type project to work with those children. I first learned of the programme when I came out of my own business, and I was looking for something to occupy me at that particular time, and an opportunity as a volunteer come up to go along to there to work in the motor vehicle workshops. Being I've always liked messing with cars and that's my passion, I thought great, this will be a great opportunity to do something that I would enjoy and get the opportunity to work with young people. So I went along to the programme, which was just one very small building in Crow Lane, sat there twiddling my thumbs with another guy who some of you are aware of, Jeff Webb, who's my colleague who really has been with me for the last 16 years. I spoke to George, I know George knows Jeff. We sat there, we didn't have any kids. This went on for several weeks, went into months, the odd one would come, and thought this really isn't that good, you know. But the potential for the programme I felt had a lot of life in it. So we went on a journey then of development over this last 15 years, and we've now become what is recognised in this borough, Barking and Dagenham, Essex as well, as one of the main providers of alternative education to young people. So to talk about the client base, it's very varied. Initially we were working with young people who were potentially at risk of committing crime. It's a very loose terminology there. Most young people with nothing to do are on the brink of doing something or other, we felt. But we were really targeting young people via youth offending, and that grew to a wide range. And if I give you the current situation where we are now, we're working in all the schools, I think without exception, in Havering. We're working with the majority of schools in Essex. We have children come as far as Bishop Stortford. We work in Barking and Dagenham, and we offer schools an alternative to exclusion. So what we say, if they have a child that's in school that is not functioning, the school can't work for the child can't work for the school, let's not throw this kid away, let's give him an alternative route of education. Let's get his core subjects done, numeracy, literacy, sciences in school, let's focus on those within the school environment, and outsource the young person to us to do alternative programmes. Things that will engage them and they're still learning. Doesn't matter what they learn, the fact that they're engaged in the programme and process of learning, for me, is the whole basis of learning. It doesn't really matter what we're learning, because most skills that we learn in motor vehicle or other practical tasks are transferable skills. So we set upon this long journey, engaging with various schools, never lost the remit to work with children that were looked after children, children that were without families, children that were in foster care, children that were in children's homes. We decided we'd work with that whole array of children, giving them opportunities together. Every child, in my eyes, deserves the same chances, regardless of circumstance, and that's the way we really form the programme. What do? Yeah, what do we do? Motor vehicle was their first subject. There's some pictures here. I would have had some overheads, but it was a little bit difficult to bring the projector today, so I apologise for that. We have a motor vehicle workshop where we teach motor vehicle maintenance. Again, we've got. I'm going to tell you where we are now with that. We deliver what we call IMI, Institute of Motor Industry Qualifications, at award, certificate and diploma level. Level 1 with level 2 progression, if that means anything. So a young person can come to me, study at me 2 or 3 days a week, and after a year hopefully get an award or certificate, and that's a recognisable qualification for that industry, and there's progressional routes on into college. So it's a recognised qualification, very good. We have a beauty salon for the young ladies. We have to be equal ops. We have a beauty salon and now art studio where we're delivering VT/CT qualifications. That's a national. Sorry.
Where is that?
Oh, sorry. The premises are based in Romford. They're in Crow Lane, Romford. A road called Malden Road. It's just off of it, near the veterinary surgeons.
What age group you accept?
We're working with young people between the age of 13 and 17. There is a new government legislation that's just come in called RPA, Raised Participation Age. All year 11 leavers now, this cohort of children now who are leaving school, have to stay in some form of education for another year. So children can no longer go straight into work at 17. Next year the participation age will be raised by 2 years. How that will work yet, I'm not quite sure. It will certainly help with the NEAT figures for government statistics, but we're not sure if no one's banging on my door offering me any money or how they're going to monitor this programme, but we'll see. That's where we are, sorry. So we're doing motor vehicle studies, we're doing beauty. The young ladies can come to us, do an award certificate or diploma in beauty and now art. We have carpentry workshops where we make anything from cut-out cats and dogs right through to hand-carved rocking horses. And unfortunately I haven't got a picture of one of those, I don't believe. What we do is we get sponsors for rocking horses. I came up with this idea, which is very much my job by the way. I'm the development side of the project. I look for ideas. I was reading a book on rocking horses and discovered that they're about 110 years old is the history in this country where they first became popular. And what they were used for is either wedding gifts or christening presents. So when they restore them now, the restorers, inside they often find a lock of hair, a wedding certificate, a birth certificate, a letter. So I thought, what a great idea, like a time capsule. So what we could do, I could go out and tap on doors and say, look, we've got this wonderful idea, sponsor me to build you a rocking horse, you nominate a charity for it to go to raise money, and we'll build it. You pay the cost of the rocking horse, about 500 or 600 quid, and then you can sell it for whatever you can. The last one we did was for Tiny Tears, Children's Hospice, and it raised 2,700. So it's a really good idea. So that's what we're looking for, is constant programmes to give the kids new opportunities. What else do we do? We do sculpture and art. Some of the sculptures are here. These are sculptures here. We use a lot of mechanical parts for those. You may see one of their sculptures in Main Road near Belgores Lane, above a tool shop. Big yellow man made of spanners. One of their sculptures, and we sell those sculptures like a commercial enterprise to raise money for the charity. What else we do? Hovercraft. We built a hovercraft, fully functional. It's on our website. It took us 9 months. I thought it was a good idea we built a hovercraft. Wasn't so good. Very difficult. We have flown it, as the terminology for those are. Stubbers, and the film of that is on our website, which is worth a look. Very good. Other projects was the Caterham. We were sponsored by the worshipful company of coach makers and harness makers. And a very nice gentleman who came to visit us several years ago through a letter I wrote to him, and we built up quite a good relationship. And he was a member of the worshipful company of coach makers. Mike Callahan, was several years later, I found out his dad was James Callahan. Never knew at the time, but a great guy. And he's really took on board what we do at Motivations, and he sponsored me to build a Caterham 7. So we built a Caterham 7. Come up like that, I said, well, you pay for it, we'll build it, we'll sell it, then we'll build another one. And then we'll sell that, and then we'll build another one. And then we'll sell that, we'll build another one. And he liked that idea because it's perpetual. So that's what we did. And the first one we built, he surprised us. We was able to take the children who worked on it up to London, up to Guildhall, London, to the Coachmakers dinner. And that year, Tim Lawrence, Princess Anne's husband, was the master, worshipful master. And Princess Anne, unknown to us, came along, met with the kids. And it was a great day, really good. Fitness and health. We do a lot of fitness and health. We have a gymnasium on site and a judo academy. Very lucky to have a guy, Bill Taylor. He's what we call European Level 4 judo coach. Bill was in charge of last year's Olympic venue for the Olympics and the Paralympics. So he looked after every team in the world for judo, which is quite something. And we're lucky we opened a judo academy on the strength of Bill 4 years ago, and we offer that to other schools. So we work with DICOM, special needs school. We have a group of their young people come to us on a Wednesday and have a 4 hours judo. So we try to give a lot back to other people in the community as well as the kids that we work with. What else can I tell you? The beauty, again, just talked about that again. What we do with that, we work with age concern, and we invite ladies down for pamper days. So we go and pick them up. We don't call them the Blue Ridge Brigade. We go and pick them up and we bring them down and we give them a treat. Manicures and pedicures and by the students, which is really nice.
Can I ask what's the catering Salon? Sorry to be so ignorant.
What it was based on Colin Chapman. Colin Chapman Lotus 7. It was based on the Lotus 7. It's Colin Chapman design. Colin Chapman introduced Lotus 7 into the industry. British Racing Green was the favourite colour. Only because he used to buy all the green paint from British Leyland and mix it all together. You've never got two of the same colour, so you can never repair them. So that was the idea, and we did it Lotus livery, which is the yellow and the green is Lotus, which we thought was quite. We made £20,000 of it. It cost us about 16 to build. Mate, it was the time and the kids that was involved in it. One young lady that was on that programme, picture here of her. Brilliant, she was, absolutely brilliant young lady. Great mechanic, she's now a full-time apprentice at Ford's.
Oh, crazy.
She was great because she'd work Monday, Tuesday and Thursday on the cable, and then Friday she insisted stopping at 1:30 to have her nails done. To meet her boyfriend for the weekend. So never stopped to become a mechanic. Some of the other pictures you see, this particular picture, this is a stage set for We Will Rock You. Again, we offer a service to all the schools in the borough. If you're putting on any performance, we'll make the stage sets with the kids. We've done Bugsy Malone. Anyone ever been to a school production of Bugsy Malone? The splurge guns were probably airs. The splurge guns were probably airs that they use. They've travelled around the borough several times. This We Will Rock You, we did this stage for the stage production. That was at Abs Cross, I believe. Went down very well. Push bikes, we're very big into push bikes. We recycle. That's the only joke you get. And we really do. What we do, we get hundreds of push bikes. We're very lucky. Bethnal Green Police Station, I have a contact there. It gives me all the lost, stolen and recovered bikes. And I've just made a new contact for Gherkins Lane Recycling with the borough recycling agent we have. And they're going to give me all their bikes. So at the moment we've got about 100 bikes. What do we do with them? We try to give them away, which is very difficult. We have contracts there. We give 12 to Richard's Hospice shops a month, and they give, we refurbish them. We give them to the hospice organisation. They distribute amongst their shops, and they sell them for revenue for the hospice, which is great. And we do the social services, children's on the poverty line, and families. We quite like the whole family to get a bike, just the kids, you know, bring mum and dad in, give them all a bike. That's quite fun. We support a local refuge for domestic violence in Romford, where we give children's bikes for the children's toys, who often don't have toys. Our most ambitious programme is we support another charity, which my colleague's family is involved, Jeff Webb, who I spoke to, I think we spoke with this, called the Falconer Trust. Falkiner Trust, yeah.
This is in Zambia, isn't it?
In Zambia, sir.
Yes, I have supported that part.
Well, we support that trust as well, sir. Do you know the story of that?
Yes.
It's a very quick story. It was about 35 years ago, 40 years ago now. A lady from Chapel Heath, Christian aid worker, decided to go and give her time in Zambia. She was a midwife. And during the first delivery of the first child, the mother died, which was quite often the case because of poor medical conditions. So she went to the funeral and they dug the pit, and the lady went in the pit, and they wrapped the baby in a cloth alive and put it in the pit and started to fill the hole. I think anyone would be shocked. This was only 30 years ago. So this woman said, no, I'll have the child. And she took the child, and she's passed away now, that particular lady, but it's now the second biggest orphanage in Zambia, and it's supported by the Falkiner Trust. So what we do, we send them cars. This is a 4x4 Isuzu Trooper that we bought, stripped down to everything, cased it, and exported it out of Zambia, along with lots of toys and bikes stuffed in the case, and balls and that, and various other things. So we support that, and we send them lots of push bikes. None with gears. They can't cope with gears. They just want fixed one speed. It's very flat. That's the bike side of the programme. Going just back to the children, which is the main product that we do. I've explained the type of young people we work with. We've expanded that programme as an outreach programme, and we work in a local children's secure unit. Some of you may be aware of it. It's in Brentwood, Essex, called Leverton House. And we've set up a motor vehicle workshop there, and now art studio, where we work with the young people there that are vulnerable, the extreme vulnerable young people. They may be there for their own safety, or sometimes the safety of others. So that's quite a challenging piece of work. So generally we try to give all young people the same opportunities that every child should have, an education. We're not trying to turn them into mechanics, carpenters. What skills do they learn in the workshop? Tool skills, problem solving skills, working with others, working on their own, gathering information, hand-eye coordination, all those skills, as I say, are transferable skills into anything. I always say, the story I usually say is, the best mechanic I ever had, brilliant he was, better than me, whatever job you gave him he could do just like that, excellent. And he became first-class carpet fitter. Not a good carpet fitter. So it doesn't really matter, does it? It's the fact what we're doing, we're engaging them in something positive, we're engaging them in something, giving them qualifications, hopefully at the end of it, we're giving them a reason to do it, a reason not to feel worthless, really. A reason just to change their own lives. You know, you can give and give and give, but at some stage people have to stand up and count it. And that's what we think with young people. That's what everybody. Thank you. If you'd like to make it. Is there any questions?
Anybody got any questions?
No, that's great.
Ron, you know the question, have you got?
You wait, Ron.
Can I ask?
There's some of it.
Yes.
Whereabout you are based?
We're based in Romford, Crow Lane.
I know Crow Lane,
Right.
but it's a very long road.
It is a very long road. Did you know the rugby club?
No.
No, right. Do you know the veterinary surgeons in Bernard Road?
Yes.
Well, if you went to the veterinary surgeons, turn left and left again, we're there.
Where
So, in and away.
the BDSA is?
Yeah, very, very near to there.
Yeah, other one.
One question, could you explain to the members how many children you have?
Yeah, oh dear, yes. Currently, I think I've got 96 children on roll. It never much exceeds about 110. We have 11 full-time members of staff, and I think I currently have 8 or 9 sessional workers. Just interesting, I'll just mention the sessional workers. One of the programs I came up with about 4 years ago was an intergenerational program. I used the initial term over 50s and then realised I was 57 at the time and thought, no, we better make it over 60. So we decided to work with the older generation. How this was going to work is I felt there was a massive gap in a lot of these young people's lives, not having positive role models, particularly grandparents. And I did a program called Strengthening Families. And I went along and did this piece of work with some children and some parents, and we did a family tree, and we said to the kids, right, put down people who are important in your life, and write your grandparents' names. I was looking at the grandparents' names, and I was seeing Zoe and Sadie's, and I thought, grandparents are called Ethel and Zoe, but then my mind had to come back 2 generations, you know, yes they are. You know, a lot of these kids have grandparents that are very young.
Tell them how much money you have to do.
Yes, I will do that in a second. So just quickly on the intergenerational programme. So I said, wouldn't it be great if we could bring in some retired older people who have got so much to give these kids, but a two-way process, because the kids have got so much to give the older generation. Break down those barriers. You know, stop them thinking all kids are, you know, let's see what we can make. And it's worked brilliantly. And we've had some real good success. Money, we wouldn't be talking about money, but right, the programme initially started on a grant of £3,000 a year. I have to find £500,000 a year now to break even, which is quite difficult on occasion.
How does this tie in
Yes.
with the school? I'm not too certain.
Right,
It wouldn't come under the work experience.
No.
You're taking children which are below the normal hours of work regulations of the local authority. I'm not quite certain. And
right.
How does Mr. Gove see this? Because he wants them all in school doing the baccalaureate.
Yeah, baccalaureate or something indeed. But what we're seen as an independent school. We have independent school status. So we are working as an alternative provider in conjunction with schools. So what that means in reality is that I have a massive audit every year by the local authority, health and safety, curriculum review officers, and on, to make sure that I am what they call a vetted, authorised provider of education.
So you come under school regulations?
We come under partly, we come under Ofsted, but not for Ofsted. We're a section something of Ofsted. So we get an Ofsted inspection as part of the school provision as a provider. So if you're outsourcing education to a provider, then you come under a different framework. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, well, we'll let it go on. I know these people are all interested in it, but... Okay,
yeah. It's not a question, I just speak from experience, having had a pastoral role at school, and we often refer children, it's a referral program in schools. We referred them if we were having great difficulties with them and they were having difficulties with us, we would refer them to motivations. I didn't realise you had such a wide range of activities. I thought it was mostly car mechanics. It possibly was way back 20 years ago when I was doing it, but I think it's wonderful the way
that's so great. We also we do offer academic qualifications as well, and we can offer up to GCSEs in Maths and English. As from September, we'll have a GCSE offer of 5 GCSEs.
Good work, good.
Yes.
Last question.
Sorry.
Do you have any talking therapy provision?
We have an art therapy provision. Talking, we do a lot of mentoring. We have a mentor that comes in 1 day a week on a Friday and works with the children on an individual one-to-one basis. We're very big on bringing lots of people into the programme and help these young people, because a lot of it really is lack of knowledge and understanding, social skills, all those things. And some of the children are brilliant. We work with we've worked with Hall Mead, we work with Brentwood County High, we work with good schools across this borough, other boroughs, and the kids are brilliant, but they in turn mentor the other kids.
So you don't have any adult coming in as a psychotherapist?
No, we have access to that. We do have access to counsellors.
So there are facilities for children?
There are facilities to refer on through a Tier 2 counselling service.
And what about child protection procedures?
Child protection, we have a full, obviously, child protection policy. All my staff have done training in safeguarding. The child protection procedures on my premise, I think, are the best for any alternative provision for anywhere in the borough, I believe. We're very lucky. One of my staff, she retired from the local authority. She was seconded up to London on the Victoria Columbe case, and she was part of the team that wrote the new guidelines. So she's a staff member. So I think we've got it fairly right there.
Right, well, thank you.
Yeah,
fascinating. When you first started speaking, I thought this organisation has found a niche. It's not a niche, it's a cavern. It's unbelievable. We all thought motor vehicles, but the beauty and the bits and pieces you do is fascinating. It just shows that you get these kids who might be going astray, you give them a positive attitude, a positive way of life, and they will come out the other end the citizens we expect of the future. And it's with great pleasure I'd like to present the organisation with a cheque.
Okay, well that's very kind. Thank you.
I'll get out.
Thank you very much indeed.
Hang on, can I just take a picture?
Well done, George.
We don't need more pictures, I like
anyone
pen
wishes to visit the project together cumulatively, if you'd like to come down and visit, I'd be more than welcome to accommodate you, show you the work. There's nothing better than seeing something for real.
I'll
Arrange that, yes.
We'll try and
I believe that's you to arrange.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that. Sorry. Can I remind fellows of the apologies book?